Hey guys, it's Brandon. Thought I would play a 15-minute game today. And I got white. Let's play e4. Why not? I don't play e4 very often, but let's see what happens. So I'm playing Emil 1980 from, is this Bulgaria? Is this the Bulgarian flag or something? It's not telling me. It's probably just lagging. But his rating is 2156. So, a slightly lower rated opponent. Yeah, there it goes, Bulgaria. So we have an e4, e5. Let's play the old Spanish opening, the Ruy Lopez. Pretty standard. The two most popular moves here are not that. That's a very strange move. The two most popular moves are a6, the Morphy defense, and knight to f6, the Berlin defense. There's also f5, the Schliemann. Queen to e7 is very strange. Don't particularly understand it, but okay. a6, I'll just keep the bishop. Yeah, maybe he can actually play knight to maybe he can actually play knight to a5 and grab the bishop pair. He chose not to, but he does win this tempo. So I can play sort of in traditional Ruy Lopez style, maybe rook to e1. The problem is he can still play knight e5. He doesn't have to play d6. Although usually knight a5 is something that black can't get in until he plays d6 because the e-pawn would be hanging. But in this case, with the queen defending it, he can. So do I worry about knight to a5? Do I play slow like d3, c3, d4? Just rook e1. I'll just play rook e1. And I'll try to play c3 next if he doesn't play knight to a5 to grab the bishop pair. He didn't. So I'll play c3 and try to build the idea is to give the bishop the c2 square and then also to prepare the d4 push. Very standard, trying to create the Ruy Lopez center. That's what, and he's played d6. What I'm going to do is just spend a move on h3, just to stop the bishop from coming in and pinning this knight, which is an important thing to stop in the Ruy Lopez, because if the bishop is pinning the knight, I'm not going to have enough protection on the d4 square. It'll be a lot easier for him to attack. He can take the knight at some point, and then if I move the queen to recapture, then this pawn on d4 would be hanging because of the knight. Wow. g5. Well, he's sort of giving me the f5 square there without much of a fight. Is he planning to play g4? Yeah, maybe. Maybe he really is planning to play g4. Well, let's just push in the center and see what happens. Usually when your opponent is pushing on the wings, it's a good idea to counterattack in the center. He did it. I think I have to take. I don't think I have much choice. And I do have to be a little concerned, like I said, about bishop taking. But if I play something like a4, a pretty standard Ruy Lopez move, and he takes, queen takes, and then tries to take twice, or if he takes the d pawn with his pawn, then I think I can play e5, and that's just brutal. So I don't think I have to worry about him taking yet. I think taking here would be a big mistake because his queen and, well, maybe not. Yeah, now, okay, so he's just going for my king pretty quick here. But his king is still in the center, so, and I can win this pawn. He can't take because of the pin. So I will pick up a pawn here. Just pre-move that. I mean, he's got the g-file, but I don't think he's got enough clout to pull this attack off, especially with his king in the center. I still need to work on my development a little bit, but I don't think he can pull this off. Okay. I mean, there's always a chance I could make a mistake, obviously, but maybe I can just break this pin here. Play queen d3, threatening to take again. He still can't take my pawn because of the rook hanging. So, I don't know. I think this is just a nice position. He can't castle. He's going to have to castle queenside, but I've already opened lines on the queenside. So that's, I mean, all this stuff here is, I'm not convinced, let's say. I have a better position in the center. I still need to get a couple pieces out, but that shouldn't be a big deal. Maybe I can play knight a3 to c4, or just knight d2 to c4, or even just knight d2 just to defend the knight again. Okay, so he's going to push, try to do some stuff against my king, but he did leave the g5 square uncovered now, so I can attack the pawn on f7, which is unprotected. So maybe he has to play rook to g7. Maybe that's his only way to defend the pawn. Sorry for the phone going off there. I'm not going to answer it. Yeah, I think rook g7 is his really only defense against the pawn to stop from losing the pawn and in exchange. Because I'm threatening to take with the bishop with check, also picking up the exchange, yeah. And now I'll probably just grab this pawn. Why not? 2 pawns up. And I don't think he really has any serious attacking chances. I have to be careful. If he moves this knight, then he'll be attacking my my knight. It's only defended by the bishop at the moment. So let's just see what happens here. On the other hand, if he does move the knight, he has to be careful because I can sink the bishop in on d5, and I'm already threatening to just run this pawn up the board, taking control of the a8 square. In other words, the queening square. So yeah, he's just trying to come down on the board here. Maybe I can put some more pressure on f7. Huh? How about that? Queen here. Queen c4. That looks nice. And, f7 and c7. See what we can do there. I mean, he's going to try to push h3 probably. But if he plays h3, maybe I can just play g3. And I don't think he'll have time to do much. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what he comes up with. I mean, even if he plays h3, I can probably do something, just let it go. And just leave the pawn on g2. take it later if I need to, but just use his own pawn as a cover for my play. So yeah, waiting to see how he does this. I mean, I think I have a nice position here. I think I've nicely punished his BS play, so to speak. Yeah, he played h3. I think I can just ignore it and maybe even play a7. a7, h2, maybe I'll just play king h1. I can also maybe take on f7. Let's push the pawn. Why not? One step closer to the queening square with the tempo. And so he has to go knight to d7, I guess. Then maybe I can even take on c7. Yeah, if he plays h2, I'll just go king h1. Not a huge deal. I'll use the h pawn as cover for my king. And he's gonna be in big trouble here very shortly. I mean, what can you say? The position is just clearly winning for me. I don't even have two of my pieces developed yet, and it's just he's so tied down. His pieces are uncoordinated. He's trying some ridiculous kingside attack, but he's got nothing to back it up. So, well, we'll see what he comes up with. Oh, not to mention I'm 2 pawns up. So if he plays knight d7, I think I can just take on c7. Then maybe he took. Well, I guess he's hoping for some kind of miracle on my king, because that was just a free piece. And now, why don't I even just play rook a7? Seems like the obvious move. Putting pressure on c7, and this looks pretty good for me. You don't get this kind of thing very often. Your opponent has to play really, really poorly. But to have 2 pieces undeveloped and still be just absolutely crushing the position. And that's where we find ourselves at the moment. So how's he going to defend the c7 pawn? I guess he can play rook to c8. King move doesn't help, I don't think, because I can play knight takes f7 check, or just knight takes f7 if he plays king d7. Maybe I'll have bishop to a4. All kinds of good stuff. So maybe rook c8 is the move. Yeah, that's what he played. Now bishop a4, check, king d8. And then maybe I can open things up. I don't know. Let's just get my bishop on a nice diagonal there. I guess you could play knight d7, or even bishop. You could retreat the bishop, yeah. Now he's attacking my knight. But if I play D takes e5, rook takes knight, and then... No, okay, you know what? It's time to open this position up. If he takes my knight, then I'm going to take on d6. And that's it with a tempo. And he also can't take my my d pawn with his pawn because it's pinned to the rook. So I don't think it's going to be good for him to take my knight. We'll put it that way. I can play for example. Wow, he did it. This looks like slaughter time to me. I'm attacking the queen. His king is exposed. I can even push the e-pawn up the board. I mean, he has to move the queen to, say, f6. Seems like the only option, moving the queen to f6. But, I mean, because he has to maintain protection of the rook. Or queen e5, I guess, is possible. But, yeah, queen e5. Can I play queen a6, attacking his rook? Queen a6. I have to be slightly careful because if I play queen a6, he moves the rook. I may have to be careful of rook to h5 and queen to h2 checkmate ideas. But I think I should have time to defend that. He doesn't have time to get it yet. He has to move this rook. Then maybe I can take the rook on to g5, on g5. Queen takes g5. You know, he still has some potential threats against my king. The bishop and the queen could be dangerous to my king, but I need to just make sure I get to his king in time. I'm threatening checkmate right now. He needs to do something about that. He can't wait on that one. I can even maybe play f4. What about f4? If he moves the rook, f4. Well, where can he move the rook, actually? The rook doesn't really have that many squares. He can try to protect it. Move the king over. Moving the king over. Then I'll probably just take the rook. Or can I play f4? But then maybe he can play queen to h8. I'm not sure. Not sure f4 works. I'll probably just take the rook. If he, you know, whatever he does here, I'll just probably take the rook on g5. I mean, wow. Oh, okay. Oh, I see the point. Yeah, because he's threatening mate on h2. Let's see, queen takes rook. Let's see, bishop, queen takes rook, king e7, only move. But I actually get one move. Okay, I take the rook now. He has to play king e7, and I can take this rook with check. So he has to spend a move getting off of this checkmating diagonal. He's got the battery set up towards my king, but he has to now spend a move, probably, getting away from this checkmate. If he plays something like f6, maybe I can just play f4. Attacking his queen. Yeah, I thought he would have to take there. So that buys me some time, and I think I can play like queen to h8. Maybe rook to a8. But then he can play bishop check. I'd like to play rook to h8, but I think he can play bishop check, takes, and then there's some perpetual maybe or something going on there. So why don't I play this move, queen to h8, keeping the queen on the back rank, protecting the h2 square, so there's no nonsense going on the h2 square, and also covering the h file. So that's a nice move. And then maybe I can play rook a8. If I play rook a8 and he plays the same idea, I think I can get out of it. Out of the checks. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think bishop takes f2 is working here. But it's worth a shot, I suppose. I don't see how he's going to get in. He could play queen to f2 check and then king g1, and then he's out of checks. Because my rook is actually covering the e3 square. So if he takes my bishop, king takes, queen f4 check, king g1, and then he has no more checks. So I think that would be nice for me. Yeah, it seems, he's got some counterplay. Got to give him credit. I mean, I thought my position was just clearly... I mean, I'm up an exchange, a rook, and a pawn, obviously, but he's got a little bit of counterplay against my king. Oh, he decided just to go in for the attack on this square, but there must be a mate here. I mean, there's no way there's not some kind of mate or some way to exchange queens or something. So, queen d8... check. Let's try this. King d8. Check. And king here to d6. Rook d1. Rook d1. King e6, then bishop takes knight, check. I mean, there's so much around his king. There's got to be something. Oh, okay, he played king e5. Well, let's start with this, just to eliminate all possible hope of him getting any last-second checkmates on me. I'm gonna snag his queen here. In fact, can he even hang on to the queen? I was just gonna trade, but yeah, he can play king takes pawn. King takes pawn. Rook e1 check. I mean, his king is running around the center now, so there's got to be some way for me to either. I mean, I can at least trade queens, and then his game is over because I'm up 2 pawns in exchange and a rook. So that's the end of the game for him. But I'm just noticing now that his time is way low also. So he's going to probably just run the clock out. There's no bishop interposing because I can just take with the queen. The queen and the rook are covering it. So I guess he's just going to let the clock run down. Typical. But, what can you do? People don't want to resign. They think losing on time in a clearly lost position is somehow better than just resigning or losing by checkmate, I guess, but I don't really see the difference. So, no, I'm not going to play another game with this guy. This was a long video. So let's take a look. Yeah, it was a Spanish opening, but some kind of weird Spanish opening where he played this queen move, and I tried to get as much of a Spanish type of feel to the position, but he lashed out with this attack really quick that I don't think was particularly, giving this pawn up. I don't think this attack was going anywhere from the start, so he just didn't have the development or the pieces for this really to work. And then he sacrificed a piece here. Yeah, just letting the game get open here. Now attacking the rook, and now even giving this rook up for the hope that he could get the battery onto h2. But yeah, with check this came. So I had just enough time to play queen h8, which I think was a nice defensive move, and gave me time to play rook to a8. And yeah, bishop c5. He just didn't have time for this to work out. It was just the massive king hunt now. Actually, wait a minute. Was this a blunder? Why couldn't he have taken this? Huh. Wow. Could he have taken my rook there? I didn't even see the bishop was still standing there. Oh, I'm lucky. If he had taken my rook, I would have been able to check with the... He would be leaving the defense of this knight, and then I would be able to play queen check here, and that would be pretty gruesome. So, thankfully I had that. But, yeah, this was a wacky game. And just finishing the game here, he decided not to continue. If he takes my pawn on e4, then probably I can even just play bishop c1 or c2 check, and well, king to f3, king f3, and then rook d3 check. Probably is that even mate? It's probably getting close to mate. But anyway, I'm pretty cleanly winning the queen. So, you know, he just decided not to continue. So, all right. Hope you guys enjoyed that game, and we will see you next time.